Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, whenever and wherever you might be watching this here video. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Farming with the Fart Ninja. So as you can see, we're no longer on the Holzer map. I wanted to do some large-scale farming, large equipment, so we're now going to be playing, at least for a while, on the Medicine Creek map by No Creek Farms. We'll jump back to the Holzer map from time to time to continue that series. But this will be a new series with new objectives. So let me set up the scenario for you. The way I am playing this particular map is that I come from a family farm. The family farm is actually up this highway a few miles northeast of here. I have two older brothers that are on the farm with my father, helping him work it. I determined that the farm wasn't big enough to support 4 families, and even when father retires, it wouldn't be really big enough to be divided between 3 families and be sufficient. So I decided to branch out on my own at this point in time to start building up. So, bought a piece of property down here. I got a little over $5 million in a loan outstanding that I will be making the $5,000 a month mortgage payment. Actually, I'm going to be drawing on that loan for a little bit before I start making the payment, because obviously I don't have enough to do that unless I start doing some contracts, which I probably should do. I don't have much in the way of equipment. I have an old New Holland tractor, and I have a worker that has stopped working, which is fine, kind of expected. I have a grain truck, an international older grain truck, and a pickup truck, a service vehicle. And then a horse, a house, and the farm, which I'll show you in a little bit. I've currently leased a large tractor and a plow, and leased a fertilizer sprayer, as I'm preparing some fields that I've also rented. The only land that I own is this farmland here. No actual fields, it's just the grass down to the house and then the farmyard, and I threw in a tiny stable for a horse to get a little bit of income. So I did take out a contract with the Laredo Grain Company. I am going to be providing them 25,000 bushels of soybean. That's equal to 880,977 liters of soybean. They've agreed to pay me the higher of the current market rate at the time I bring them the bushels, or $10 per bushel. So I'll be getting a minimum of 250,000, possibly more if the price is higher than $10 a bushel. So that contract is due by the first day of late winter. So I've got all season to plant and grow the soybeans to fulfill that contract. I ran the numbers based on what the real life numbers mod tells me is the maximum yield per hectare for soybeans, and I'm going to need 56.41 hectares of soybeans to reach that 25,000 bushel contract. That's at optimal conditions: plowed, limed, fertilized 3 times, no weeds, etc. I know I'm not going to reach that, so I'm targeting roughly 60 hectares. The 56.41 is 139.4 acres. So right now I want to say 145-ish acres rented. I've rented 3 fields, about 8,000 a piece for 2 or 3 of them, maybe 5,000, 6,000 for another. So it wasn't cheap, but it should be enough for me to be able to grow the soybeans to fulfill the contract. Right now I had a worker plowing one of the fields to get it in a good state. I should have done a better job and picked fields that didn't need lines or plowing. That way I could have saved myself quite a bit of money, but didn't think about that until after the fact. Oh well. Live and learn. This is my first season on my own, so I'm gonna make mistakes. That'll happen, but we'll get there. So the temperature isn't quite warm enough yet to actually plant the soybeans. We are far enough along in the year that it's acceptable to plant them and let them grow for us, but it's not quite warm enough. So we're going to continue to prepare the fields, get them up to the second fertilized state. Then I'm going to use a planter seeder that also fertilizes the ground, so that way I'll have the third fertilized state as I plant the soybeans. In the meantime, we will do some contracts so we can keep our funds high enough to make the monthly payment on our loan, because we don't want them to foreclose on our property. Yeah, I believe that's about a good summary of the situation and what I am trying to accomplish. So why don't we just ride on down to the farmyard, show you around, and we'll wrap it for the day because I need to get back out into the field and get to work. So I've really made use so far of the real life numbers mod on this map. It's been able to tell me how many hectares I needed, or how many liters of soybean. Okay, something's wrong with this here horse. It done lost its mind. Anyways, the mod has told me how many soybeans I need, or how many hectares of land I need in order to grow the appropriate number of liters of soybean to meet the contract. I've also used it to set the fields that I wanted, that I identified as the land I need to use to set them to rent instead of purchase, because there's no way I can afford to purchase them. I also used the mod to determine which fields had the appropriate number of hectares in them, of actual field, not just total farmland, but actual field value. So I could calculate which ones I needed to rent and how many of them in order to meet the contract at maximum yield. And I've used the mod to adjust the contract rates to be a little bit more favorable than what the default rates in the mod is. So some big fields plowing, you get paid a decent amount. Cultivating, there isn't a whole lot of cultivating that pays well. Most of them are plowing. There's a cultivating, but that's big, number field 27, almost 250 acres. But you can get some 53 acres for a little over 1,000, so I think I'll be able to make it with these contracts. But if I find that it's still not enough, then I can adjust. That's going to be a lot for vehicle use. If I use their vehicles, I'd have to use my own. I did increase that number as well. So yeah, this is the large pole barn. I'm going to be putting mostly the seed and hay bales and fertilizer and all that good stuff in here. Maybe a tractor trailer if I need to, but I don't have that yet. the grain bins over there. And my office is in there. I do all my fun calculations. You know, you get your workshop inside this one. I need to take the fertilizer out to the sprayer. It's done run dry. And the grain truck here. More storage space. And then the nice little house up there, but I'm doing some construction on that, so we're not going to bother showing you right now. So this is the farmyard. And that's the scenario. That's what we're going to try to accomplish. So I'll bring you back occasionally, maybe once a week, to check in, see how we're doing, and see how we are utilizing the mod, Real Life Numbers mod, to meet our goals. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.